You've seen actor Josh Duhamel win the girl and kick some action star butt in his movies, and now his latest role, he is jumping off the deep end.
Do you hear me? Because if you don't help me explain, they're not going to understand, Carter. Come on!
That is Josh in the new drama thriller, Scenic Route, and he is with us now to tell us all about it. Welcome, Josh.
How are you, Rachel?
Wonderful. How are you this morning?
I'm doing great.
Well, this movie is a little bit darker than what we're used to maybe seeing you in. So what drew you to it?
Right. Well, you know, I've been very fortunate to be able to do some of the stuff that I've done in my career. But you know, as an actor, you always want to try things that are really going to push you and things that scare you. And you know, this movie definitely was a challenge. I mean, physically and mentally. There was a ton of rehearsal, a ton of work that we did just before we started shooting it. And I love the idea that, you know, two guys who are sort of drifting, not necessarily happy in their lives, it takes an event like this, 4 days in the desert, no food or water, to sort of realize that, you know, they have it pretty good.
Yeah.
And they should appreciate the things that they have. But, you know, more so than all that, it's the mohawk, man. I got to have a mohawk for the first time in my life.
That's pretty awesome. I was just going to ask you about that, like, because your character always wanted a mohawk and he got it. Have you ever else besides the mohawk wanted something in life like that, like a nose ring or something really wild?
Yeah, I always wanted like one of those tattoos on my tailbone.
A tramp stamp?
Yeah, I always wanted a tramp stamp, so I got one of those last year, and I'm sort of regretting it.
What did you get?
Dragon.
A dragon?
Yeah.
Like flames
I'm
coming
kidding.
out?
I didn't do that. I wouldn't do that. I couldn't do that.
Well, in the movie, though, you guys are also on a road trip. Do you have any personal road trip stories, either good road trips or bad road trips you've ever been on?
Oh, boy. Yeah, I have lots of road trip stories. Do you want to hear one of them?
Of course. Anything that you want to share.
Well, gosh, we used to go on road trips all the time because I grew up in North Dakota, so if you want to do anything, you got to go on a road trip. And, you know, lots of trips to South Dakota, lots of trips to Montana, lots of trips to Minnesota. But, you know, my biggest road trip was probably from home in North Dakota all the way to California when I first moved here.
Wow.
14, 15 years ago now. But I'll just, you know, there's lots of things like on our way to the Detroit Lakes for the 4th of July, we hit a deer in my mom's minivan.
Ooh,
and I was sleeping in the back of the van and I was so confused that I got out of the van and I just threw up all over the highway.
Oh my gosh, that's really scary though.
Well, you know, you wake up to something like that.
Thanks so much, Josh. You can
Thank
watch
you.
his new movie, Scenic Route, exclusively on DirecTV now through July 11th.
Can't wait to watch
Gotta
that.
love some Josh Duhamel.
He's so
Just
funny.
saying.
And hot. Yeah, that
Well,
too.
later he's going to share with Rachel who his BFF is and his thoughts on starting a family with Fergie, happening very soon.
Fergalicious.
Yeah.